Good morning, Miss Dugan's second grade class. Today we are going to learn how to count money and the different uses for money and why everyone needs money. So the first thing we're going to look at is this little presentation, all about money. There are many different uses for money, why we need money. Some would be to buy food and toys, things that we enjoy. And to pay for bills. Bills are things that include a place to live, electricity, all the lights in our house, all the appliances that we plug in, and the water that we use. That all costs money. Here are some different symbols you might see in regards to money. This is a dollar sign. This is a cent sign. And some ways you might see it written would be 25 cents. This is 5 cents. And down here is how you would see $5 written with the dollar symbol. You might see these on different things at the grocery store, on shelves, different, the price of different foods, the price of different toys, things like that. What is money made out of? This is a dollar bill, and these are metal coins. A real dollar bill, I'll pass this around and let you guys look at it. This is the front of a dollar bill. This is the back of a dollar bill. This is George Washington on our dollar bill. So I'll go ahead and pass that around for you guys. And then metal money looks like this. We'll go over the different coins here in just a minute. So, let's see. Metal coins like pennies, nickels, and dimes are made of different metals called copper, nickel, and zinc. And all of those metals are found in the earth. We have to dig and use special tools. Paper money, like a dollar bill or a $5 bill, there's $10 bills, those are made of a mixture of materials called linen and cotton. Kind of like the same stuff that our clothes are made out of, except for with money, it's packed much tighter and compressed, squished down so that the money doesn't tear as easily as regular paper would. So down here, this is zinc, the metal zinc. This is nickel. This is copper, what pennies are made of, because it looks like the color of a penny. And this is cotton, some of the material that's used to make the paper money. Okay, and then this is a penny. This is the front of the penny. This is the back of the penny. This is Abraham Lincoln, and each penny is worth 1 cent. So, and this is a penny. Here's the front, and here's the back. And I'll go ahead and pass that around so you guys can look at it. And this is a nickel. A nickel is worth 5 cents each. So this is the front of the nickel, and this is the back of the nickel. And I'll pass that around so you guys can look at it. And so if a nickel is worth 5 cents, how many would you need to make 30 cents? You would need 6 nickels. We'll talk about how to count money in just a minute. Okay, this is a dime. Each dime is worth 10 cents. And a dime is a little bit smaller than the nickel and just a little bit smaller than the penny. This is the front of the dime, and this is the back. I'll pass this around so you guys can see it. And just like that's the front and that's the back. This is a quarter. This is the front of the quarter. This is the back of the quarter. There's an eagle on the back. And these are worth 25 cents each. You might use these if you go to an arcade or a restaurant that has a little candy machines and everything. Usually they're worth 25 cents or 50 cents. So if it was worth 50 cents, you would need 2 quarters. This is the front and this is the back. And I'll go ahead and pass that around so you guys can see it. This is a $50. You probably haven't ever seen a $50, but this is the front of the $50 and that's the back of the $50. And these are each worth 50 cents. So it's like 2 quarters, but it's just one coin. So if you had 2 $50, it would be a whole dollar. That's why it's called a $50, because it's worth $50. So then we go into actually counting money. So to get $1 out of pennies, you would need 100 pennies. That's a lot of pennies. And then usually you wouldn't pay for things in pennies. You would just use it if your total at the grocery store was $5.03. You would just use 3 pennies as your 3 cents because they're worth 1 cent each. Down here we have 4 quarters and that equals $1. So it's 25 cents, 50 cents, 75 cents, and $1 equals 4 quarters equal $1. And then to get $1 out of dimes, you have 10 dimes equals $1 because it would be 10 cents, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 cents is $1. And to get $1 out of nickels, you would need 20 nickels. Because nickels are each worth 5 cents. Okay, your homework tonight is going to be a worksheet, on counting money, the different uses of money, identifying money. So let's see, we can go back over all of the different kinds of money and what we might use money for. Let's get the slideshow back up. Okay, so what are some of the different uses of money? Yes, Johnny, to buy things like toys and food. We could go out to a restaurant and we would have to pay with money. Let's see. In a house, a place to live. Yes, Julie, that's correct. Okay, and then can somebody tell me which one is the $sign? Yes, Sean, this one right here. And does anyone remember what this symbol is called? Yes, Clark, it's the cent sign. Very good. And can anyone tell me how you would read this sign if you saw this at the grocery store? Eric? 25 cents, yes. And this one, how about you, Mark? What would that be? 5 cents, correct, very good. And our last sign, how about you, Erica? What would that be? $5, very good. And if you saw the same thing, but instead of a 5, it was a 2, how much would that be, George? $2, very good. All right, and so we talked about the different ways, the different materials that money is made out of. Does anyone remember what this was? Almost, George. It looks kind of like nickel. These look the same, but this one is zinc, and this one is nickel. Nickels are made out of nickel. And does anyone remember what this one was? What pennies are made out of, because it's the same color as a penny? Erica? Copper. Very good. All right. And then this right here is the plant that grows outside. Can anyone tell me what this is and what it is used to make? Almost. It's called cotton, and it's used to make our paper money. just like the cotton that's used to make our clothes sometimes. All right, does anyone remember what this is? It's a small coin made out of copper. Yes, it's a penny. Very good. And how much is it worth? 1 cent. Correct. Does anyone remember how many pennies it would take to equal a dollar? Almost, George. It's 100 pennies to get $1. Now we have a nickel. It's bigger than the penny and the dime, but not as big as the quarter. Does anyone remember how much this is worth? 5 cents. Yes, Johnny, it's 5 cents. Does anyone remember how many nickels we would need to get a dollar? It's 20 nickels to get $1. This is a dime. This is the very small, shiny silver coin. It is worth, yes, George, it's 10 cents. And does anyone remember how many dimes we would need to get a dollar? You'd need 10 dimes to get a dollar. Okay, and the last one we talked about was a quarter. It's the big coin, and it is worth 25 cents. Yes, and you would need 4 of these to get a dollar. Okay, and this is our half dollar that I didn't have the actual coin, but it's bigger. It's probably about this big, and it is worth 50 cents. So it is actually, it's a half a dollar. 50 cents is half a dollar, and it equals 2 quarters. And then, like we said, you need 100 pennies to equal $1. You need 4 quarters to equal a dollar. You need 10 dimes to equal $1, and you need 20 nickels to equal $1. All right, that is the end. I will pass out the homework here in a minute. We'll go over the first few questions just to make sure you understand it, and then you will bring it back on Friday completed, and we'll go over it as a class.